Welcome to episode 19 of our second series on the surnames and early families of Appalachia and the American South. If you'd like to get a free copy of the list of surnames and families that we've covered already, stick around until the end. This list is literally an email away. I greatly appreciate you for watching and engaging with the channel for more than a couple of minutes, please. It keeps videos rolling. Now, looking ahead to today's episode, the list of surnames evokes a lot of Hollywood imagery, even in the world of animation. I hope you'll join me. Number 1, Crawford. I'm old enough to remember one of Tinseltown's biggest stars and serial brides. Her name was Joan Crawford. She was born in San Antonio, Texas, so she had a Southern connection. Her birth name wasn't Crawford, though. It was Lucille Fay Lesueur, which is, of course, a French surname, and it meant shoemaker. Joan's adopted family name is of English origin. It was given to a family that lived by a ford or crossing place in a river or a creek or brook, if you will. And unlike the old plain ford, this particular place had to have a flock of crows nesting nearby. I reckon she didn't like being associated with a French shoemaker or cobbler, so she opted for a more Anglo-sounding name. However, the name Crawford has been in the Scottish record since 1147. That's over a century before the time of William Wallace and Robert the Bruce, the champion of Scottish independence from England. It was introduced into Ulster, the 9 northern counties of Ireland, during the King James plantation movement of the early 17th century. According to Robert Blair, the author of the Book of Ulster Surnames, the Ulster Crawfords were from Scotland and mainly settled in Antrim. According to the Crawford family genealogy papers that are housed in the Special Collections Library at the University of Georgia, William Harris Crawford was born in Virginia on February 24, 1772. His parents were Fanny Harris. I say that kind of tongue-in-cheek a little bit because in Great Britain today, Fanny is considered something closer to female body parts, if you know what I mean. It doesn't mean the derriere. Okay, so we'll move on from that. Now, Fanny Harris and Joel Crawford were his parents. Now, their family moved to South Carolina in 1779 and then on to Georgia in 1783. William H. or William Harris Crawford ran for the presidency in 1816 and 1824. William Harris had a cousin named George W. Crawford. He lived from 1798 to 1872, and like his cousin, he was a politician. He was the only member of the Whig Party to serve as governor of Georgia. He was elected to 2 terms, 1843 and 1847 respectively. G.W. Crawford also served as a representative in the Georgia State House. He was also the state attorney general, a U.S. congressman, and the Secretary of War under President Zachary Taylor. In 1861, Crawford came out of retirement to chair the state secession convention in Milledgeville. At the end of the day, I'm highly confident that Crawford could be of English, Scottish, or Scots-Irish or Ulster Scots origin, but one thing is for certain: it was born by an antebellum Southern family of some political note, fame or infamy, if you will, depending upon how you view the South in the American Civil War. Number 2, Elmore. If you do a Google search for Elmore, you'll likely find that there are perhaps more people with the given name Elmore than there are those with the surname Elmore. Digging deeper into its past, the first English people named Elmore lived on a parcel of uncultivated land with an ample supply of elm trees, hence the meaning of the name. While it's not among the traditional names of Scotland or Wales, it's been in the Irish records since the 17th century. In Ireland, though, it could well be an alternate form of Gilmore. One online source dubiously claims that this very Anglo-Irish family originated in Italy, were in Virginia in the late 1700s before moving on to the Gulf Coast. Now, if they were Italians, they were extremely unusual and would have clearly adopted an English surname. Migration from Italy wasn't sizable until the second half of the 19th century, that's the late 1800s. There was a migration flow from Italy to the Mississippi Delta and Arkansas in the early 20th century. According to William E. Elmore in his The Trunk of an Elmore Family Tree, Thomas Elmore immigrated from England and settled in Virginia before 1669. He married Rebecca Austin and lived in York County, Virginia. In addition to Virginia, he traces some of their other descendants to North Carolina and Kentucky. You can have access to a copy of William E. Elmore's papers in the University of Virginia Library. Number 3, Alderman. This English family name was given to a man who served as a magistrate, chief, or duke. According to My Heritage, in 1799, one family of aldermans in Virginia had 11 kids, which wasn't unusual for the time. Among them were John and Jacob. John married a lady named Hannah, and they too had 11 young'uns. I wasn't able to find alderman among the traditional surnames of Ireland, Scotland, or Wales, so I'm confident that this antebellum family has its roots in jolly old England, of course. Yes. Number 4, Looney. One time, a person named Looney was seen simply as a jovial, merry, or dare I say a happy-go-lucky person. Not crazy or silly as in a Looney Tune. It's an anglicized version of a name found in Irish, Manx, and Scottish Gaelic. However, in Scotland, it could also signify a resident of Argyllshire. Argyllshire. That's a tongue twister. Say it 3 times. Argyllshire. Well, whatever. Meanwhile, on this side of the Atlantic, I was able to find information on Robert Looney Jr. He was born on the Isle of Man, otherwise known as Ellenvannan, the beautiful little Isle of Man, in 1721. He immigrated to Virginia and married a Scottish lass in Augusta County in 1743. Her name was Margaret Ray or Margaret Renfro. See episodes 45 and 71 for those Scottish surnames. They were the parents of at least 6 kids. At the end of the day, Looney is an antebellum name of Guadelic Celtic origin. Number 5, our last name today is Hurt. And it brings to mind yet another Hollywood personality, William Hurt. I liked him as an actor, but his personal life was troubled by rumors of domestic abuse. Not him being abused, but him abusing somebody else. Now, he passed away in 2022 at the relatively young age of 71. According to Henry Harrison, Hurt, the surname, is an English name that started its existence as an alternate form of Hart. I was a little surprised to not find Hart or Hurt among the traditional surnames of Ireland or Scotland or Wales. Now, I sometimes have to dispute family traditions when there's no evidence to support a claim. One online source claims that Hurt is a Welsh name that was once spelled H-U-R-T-T-E, which would still be pronounced Hurt. Now, the problem with that notion is that neither spelling is listed in T.J. and Price Morgan's excellent book on Welsh surnames. Consequently, I'll stick to an English origin for the family name Hurt. According to WikiTree and Ancestry.com, there was a William Hurt who died in New Kent County, Virginia after 1704. Ancestry.com claims he was born in 1628. He was married to a Margaret Glover and had at least 3 kids. I also found a John Carter Hurt who was born in Yadkin County, North Carolina in 1844. So clearly, Hurt is an antebellum family of English derivation. Well, folks, that's about all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed the discussion. If you'd like a list of the names and episodes that I've covered thus far, please send an email to vantagepoint22@gmail.com. I'll hit return and attach a PDF file that contains the list. Until I see you again, may the good Lord bless and keep you. May He make His face shine on you and give you peace. Bye-bye.